Welcome, friends. It's the Wandering Bard. We have opened our doors for the evening, and it's happy hour. So here we are. It's been a minute since I've really gotten a chance to talk to many of you. The last few weeks have been really crazy. So in the last 10 or so days, I've done 8 shows, 9 shows, which is kind of nutty. 6 of those were festival days. Hey, look at that. It's time to go live. That's good. So you know we're on top of things tonight.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm Jeremy Grafe, by the way, and behind the control desk is the mighty House Elf 1. So...
Also having technical difficulties, so I'm Jeremy Grafe Music tonight.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you haven't already and you're liking what you've seen so far, do give this channel a follow. We're, believe it or not, at 99 followers right before the show tonight. And I was hoping that we would have 100 followers by the end of Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. And it looks like we might actually get that. So I'm pretty stoked on that. Thanks, everyone who has made that possible. All 99 of you lovelies. So I'm really excited about that. Do give the channel a share. The VOD is going to be up right here on Twitch for 2 weeks, and in a couple of days, I will have the VODs uploaded to jeremygrafemusic.com for the subscribers there, as well as YouTube. And there actually will be an exclusive one for the subscribers this week. Actually have a lot to talk about tonight. Since we've had guests for the last few weeks, I've wanted to talk to them a lot more, but there has been a lot going on here, with a lot of stuff going on beneath the surface for the new record that I've been working on. So I'm pretty stoked on that, actually, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But for now, I want to get into a little bit of music that I haven't gotten to play as much over the last little bit, partly because of guests, partly for giving some of the songs a nice break. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. One of the songs that I haven't yet played at Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, and I think it's interesting. A lot of performers are less excited about this song just because it shows up in so many places. But, there are reasons why certain songs exist and still get play after 500 years. And I think Greensleeves is a pretty great example of a song that has remained, I think, relatively timeless, especially if you drop out the ones that were obviously written from a royal's perspective. And you forget about the fact that we think that Henry VIII may have written this for Anne Boleyn. Spoiler alert, if you don't know anything about Tudor history, that doesn't end well and is one of the many things that makes Henry look bad. But he was a good songwriter, so here we are. Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously, for I have loved you well and long, delighting in your company. Greensleeves was all my joy, Greensleeves was my delight, Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Your vows you've broken like my heart, oh why did you so enrapture me? Now I remain in a world it does the more enrapture me. And even so I still remain a lover in captivity. Greensleeves was all my joy. Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold. And who but my lady Greensleeves? Well, I will pray to God on high, that thou my constancy may see, and that yet once before I die, thou wilt vouchsafe to love me. Greensleeves was all my joy. Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Greensleeves, now farewell, adieu. To God I pray to prosper thee, for I am still thy lover true. Come once again and love me. Greensleeves was all my joy. Greensleeves was my delight. Greensleeves was my heart of gold, and who but my lady Greensleeves? Special request of the house elf. Greensleeves by King Henry VIII. Stay hydrated, friends. Agreed, Carlos. New England is a glory in the autumn, and I am very sad that I will not make it to New England during this particular autumn. So I'm working on that, though. Well, hey, I wanted to talk a little about some of the studio delays. Because, of course, I realize that I've been talking about this album that I'm working on. And, of course, most of you that have been tuning in regularly for the last, 2 years of this live stream, you know that I've been working on it. So you also know that I've written new things. And I've debuted pretty much everything on this live stream over the last year. At least the way that I'm thinking about the tracks now. But, a funny thing happens when you start working on a thing. Like, my assumptions, of course, completely changed. When I started working on the album, I thought that I was going to be recording in a friend's studio, and it would probably take about this long, but it would have been done and released by now. And then COVID happened. And at first I thought, well, this is going to be over in a few weeks. And of course, all of us were disabused of that illusion within a month or two. And I started doing a lot of research, and I started working on figuring out how I could actually play all the instruments on this album, which meant that I would have to learn how to play bass, and I'd have to get better on guitar so that I could play the lead guitar parts. And then I realized I'd have to learn how to program drums, and there was a whole there were several suites of software that I needed to learn if I wanted to make the album that I wanted to make and be proud of. So part of the reason for the delay is the learning curve of figuring out how to do everything that I needed to do to be self-sufficient, which makes sense for a lot of reasons. In addition to everything else, we were looking at budget, and it would have been great to go to a friend's studio and record, and it would have been great to go to a professional studio and record. But the reality is, with what the budget looks like for us and what previous albums have done in terms of sales, it didn't really feel like it was the right thing to do. And I felt better about learning how to do everything myself. And I've been really happy with how much I've learned as I've been doing that. So another thing that's happened is I actually started getting songwriting coaching from Matt Pike. Not Matt Pike, Matt Page. Matt Pike would be an interesting one to get songwriting coaching from as well, but Matt Page. Matt Page is one of the members of Dream the Electric Sleep, which you've probably heard me talk about if you've been on this channel before. They are a fantastic band based out of Kentucky and write incredible music that I think is incredibly touching and incredibly poignant and really smart. And Matt and I have been kind of in conversation for one thing or another for the last couple years. And a few months ago, I talked to him about maybe getting guitar lessons. So we sat down and did a Skype lesson that ended up lasting like an hour and a half. And during the course of it, we were basically assessing like what I needed to get where I needed to go. And after we were talking for a little while, he said, well, you know, something that I've always really wanted to do was I've always really wanted to create a space where I could really talk to somebody about their songwriting. Because he actually teaches visual art. And, you know, a really important part of visual art is like what happens when you sit around in a critique and giving constructive feedback about, you know, how you can finish your images and make them more powerful or make them like closer to what your statement of intent is. And I thought that was a great idea. So Matt and I have, we did our first session and we talked about two songs that, well, I think most of you probably know by now, and he had some really great feedback for them. So last week you heard the newer version of Sunflowers, and I feel really good about it. Like there's a little bit of a new vamp, the arrangement is a little bit different, and I think it moves a little bit better. But I also did some work on some other songs, and I'm going to continue making some like changes and rearrangements over the coming months. So that's the other reason for the slowdown at this point. I mean, it might seem a little strange because I know a lot of you have been really kind and saying how much you've really enjoyed these songs, but there's a part of me that feels like we've gotten them to this point, and I want to get them to the point that they're like absolutely everything that they can be. So by the time this album really comes out, it's not only something that I feel like I can be really proud of, but it's something that when people hear it, that'll be something that'll hopefully be moving to them and will be as interesting to a listener as it was for me to make it. I mean, it doesn't always work out when you're making something that we might have all these ideas about what we want and what we intend, and maybe we're not communicating that as clearly, or like maybe we're allowing ourselves to get too self-indulgent in moments. So it's good to hear from another songwriter that I trust and respect as much as Matt Page, and hear what his thoughts are. So over the next few months, I will be trotting out some slightly reworked versions of some songs, and hopefully they will be at least as strong for all of you as they've been so far, and hopefully they'll be even better. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on in the studio. It's actually been really rewarding, but like a lot of other things at kind of like the early stages, most of what's going on is going on beneath the surface and you can't see it. So just trust that the seeds have been planted, and all of you who have been subscribing here on the Twitch channel or subscribing to jeremygrafemusic.com, the money that is going into that subscription has been going towards like finishing this record. And I'm so sorry that it's taking longer than what I intended and what I hoped, but I do hope and I do really believe that when we get to the other side of this and this thing is done, we'll have something that we can say like we did together. Like, you guys have been amazing with helping to like buy gear, software packages and microphones and instruments and all that stuff. Like, this has all been going towards that. And I'm sorry that I haven't communicated about it as much, but I feel really good about where things have been going. And I have some plans to rework a couple of songs this week too. So anyway, thanks everybody. I'm very grateful not only for your patience, but for the way that so many of you have shown up to be supportive. Whether that's, subscribers or those of you who tune in faithfully every week. This doesn't matter if there's not a community around it. And one of the biggest gifts of this whole last couple years has been the way a big group of us have gotten to hang out together that we might not have been able to meet had we been allowed to just go on with the way that our lives were. So I'm not happy with the way a lot of things have happened in the last few years, but super grateful that I've gotten to meet so many of you. So thank you. And this song, as the months have gone by, continues to be for the strength and resilience and endurance of the Ukrainian people. You like that? Okay.
I think it's okay.
All right.
See what they think.
Yeah.
The
So,
the masses of people.
yeah. Yeah, Wanderers, let me know what you think. I don't know. How do you feel about the reworks? Do they add anything to it for you? Is it the same? Are you bothered that I changed it? Do you need to live with it for a while?
You should break out the next one.
Yeah. So, for some reason, I thought it was a really good idea to rewrite a song when we had, like, no real time between some festival days in the last week. So, last Tuesday and Wednesday, we had student days at Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. So the day starts a little earlier, and we get to leave a little earlier. And it's like, I don't know, 4/5 of a festival day in terms of like hours. And we cut a couple of shows, and it's basically just the cast and a few independent acts. So normally they're like pretty, I don't think they're that bad normally, but these two were kind of rough, I'll be honest, because Tuesday we were still kind of in the stalled out dregs of Hurricane Ian, and it poured from opening to close, and I think the high temperature was like 48 degrees. So it was unfun, and we did our best to like put on the best shows that we could for the kids, knowing that this might be the only time they ever come to the Renaissance Fair. And I mean, what got me hooked on the Renaissance Fair in the first place was showing up as a kid at 16 years old and just realizing like this place is magical and incredible and I want to be a part of this. So it's really important, especially for me, to like do a great job for the kids. Thankfully, we were covered up. Like all four of the Braemore Bards were there, and we ended up doing shows. And then Wednesday stopped raining, but kind of drizzled. It was a lot better on Wednesday. But it takes a lot out of you being outside in not warm, raining weather. So if anybody seemed a little bit like tired this past weekend, that's why. We're doing our best, but it's been a pretty heavy week for everybody. So anyway, I rewrote Burning Day a little bit. So Burning Day, I ended up, well, I'll just play it and we'll talk about it later. Anyway.
Slowed my flight.
to light. Reborn, restore my flight.
Ooh, so fancy.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm curious to hear what everybody has to say about the new arrangements of things. I'm pretty excited myself. It's pretty cool to take another look at songs that I've lived with for a little while now and be able to back out enough and back out enough that I can kind of see it with different eyes and hear how someone who's hearing it for the first time takes it. So anyway, I'll be taking a look back at the chat afterwards because it's moving a little fast for me to get everything on my phone. So, so I'm really excited to announce that coming up at the end of the month, we're going to do another live show at Artifice Ales and Mead, and that is at 55 North Main Street right here in Mannheim. Willie and Julie are going to be hosting us again. This time it's going to be me with a couple of special surprise guests. I'm going to be announcing a bit more about that in the coming weeks, but know that I will be there from 7 to 9 p.m. And I'm going to play some songs that you recognize and maybe some new ones. We're going to try and keep a little bit of a creepy Halloween theme, so going to be fun. So if you're anywhere near Mannheim, come out that night. And if you're planning on staying for the weekend, that would be a great weekend to come and see the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair as well, because that's our closing weekend. And the Halloween show is always a blast. There are always a ton of surprises, and closing weekend always is just really wild. So I'm stoked on that. So come out. It'll be really fun. Of course, we will be out on the patio, and it's only going to be a live thing. There will be no live stream. If anybody records anything, it's going to get posted later, but this is going to be like kind of an old school live show. Like, show up, order your drinks, hang out, get rowdy. It'll be a good time. So that'll be Thursday, October 27th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Artifice Ales and Meads in Mannheim. And I hope you'll be able to join me. So, yeah, Carlos, that's the 29th and the 30th. So I have also been struggling a bit as the weather has gotten cooler at the Ren Fair because I like hot weather. I actually would really rather be sweating than cold, always. So,
and I'm the opposite.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because that might be throwing a wrench into my plans to move somewhere where winter doesn't exist. But, you know. Moving on.
That's for another show.
No, actually, it's not. We're going to cover that right now. All hail to the days that merit more praise than all the rest of the year, and welcome the nights that double delight, as well for the poor as the peer. Sweet blessings attend each merry man's friend that doth but the best that he may, forgetting old wrongs with poems and songs to drive the cold winter away. 'Tis ill for the mind to anger inclined, to think of small injuries now. If rough be to see, don't lend her thy cheek, don't let her inhabit thy brow. Cross out of thy books malevolent looks, both beauty and youth's decay, and spend the long nights in honest delights to drive sit by the fire with friendly desire, with others in love to greet. All grudges forgot are put in the pot, all sorrows aside they lay. The old and the young doth carol this song to drive the cold winter away. All hail to the days that merit more praise than all the rest of the year, and welcome the nights that double delights, as well for the poor as the peer. Sweet blessings attend each merry man's friend that doth but the best that he may, forgetting old wrongs with poems and songs to drive the cold winter away. It's not winter yet, but I'm starting early. Because,
Drive it out.
yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know, winter is like a bad house guest. It shows up whether you want it to or not, and you know you've got to endure it, and it stays way longer than you wish it would. So there you are.
Oh, so good with the analogies. Let me go.
Yeah.
Woo.
Let's hear it for the Irish goodbye. Kind friends and companions, come join me in rhyme. Come lift up your voices in chorus with mine. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. For we may and might never all meet here again. Here's a health to the company and one to my loss. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. For we may and might never all meet here again. Here's a health to the dear lass that I love so well. For style and for beauty, there's none can excel. She smiles on my countenance as she sits on my knee. Sure, there's no one on earth who's as happy as me. So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. For we may and might never all meet here again. Our ship lies at harbor, it's ready to dock. I wish our safe landing without any shock. If I ever should meet you by land or by sea, I will always remember your kindness to me. So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. might fail. My course may be challenged by November gale. If fortune shall prove to be friend or be foe, you will always be with me wherever I go. So here's a health to the company, and to my less. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain. For we may and might never all meet here again. So I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is I only have one more song. The good news is I have one more song. Yay! So if you haven't thought about it already and you dig what you're seeing, do give this channel a follow. And if you're really stoked on it and have yourself an Amazon Prime account, do consider giving your free Twitch membership to this channel. Your membership benefits with Amazon Prime give you one free Twitch subscription a month. And while you have to re-up it every month, it's part of the benefits that you're paying for. So I would be honored if you would choose The Wandering Bard as your channel of choice. If you're really excited about what you've heard tonight and want to be a part of the music that I make and the live stream that House Elf 1 and I do together, do go over to jeremygrafemusic.com and give that a subscribe. Not only will you get the satisfaction of being a patron of the arts, but you'll get dozens of exclusive videos as well as the access to my entire music catalog. And there are a few things up there that are only for subscribers. I'm going to have a few more things that are showing up in the next few weeks that are for subscribers only, and I don't think I'm going to release widely, just as a little thank you for you fine folks. So more on that probably in an email in the next week or two, but thank you for supporting the stream. Don't forget, October 27th at Artifice, Ales and Mead. That is 7 to 9 p.m. That will be a live performance with some really great friends and will be a great night. Also, check out the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. We've got 3 more weekends left. We're into our Halloween show. Shit's going to get real weird, but so much fun. So do stop in. If you've already been to see us, the show will be completely different. All the plot shows will be, well, you'll see. It'll be a good time. So I'm really excited to see my cast members getting weird for fun and profit. So, Sláinte. I did say something about an Irish goodbye, and I actually wasn't kidding. So, on that note, fare thee well to you, my own true love. There many fare thee wells. I am bound for California, a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee, I am bound on a Yankee clipper ship. David Crockett is her name, and her captain return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Hey friends. Thanks for coming and hanging out at the Wandering Bard with me and House Elf 1 tonight. I am Jeremy Grafe. It's always great to get a chance to hang out with all of you, and I look forward to reading your comments as soon as we sign off. So if I don't see you before, tune in next week at 8 p.m. Eastern right here at Jeremy Grafe Music here on Twitch, and have a great week. Love you all.